Tonight on the Austin Downbeat, we celebrate our first season finale with Andrea Magee performing her beautiful cover of Personal Jesus, and Baird performing his latest single, Hold Tight, off his upcoming album.
Welcome to the Austin Downbeat. I'm Kat, your host. I have an awesome show for you again tonight. I have Baird and Andrea Magee on the show tonight. Let's hear it for him, guys. I love it. I have been wanting the two of you to come on, and I'm a big fan of like divine timing. And I feel like now is the right time to have you on, and to have you on together is really cool. Not that you guys perform together or do anything like that, but you're both in the same kind of place in the ebb and flow of creativity and doing what you guys do. And you both have albums coming out roughly around the same time. Rob, yours comes out in just a couple weeks on June 21st, correct?
You got it right.
June 21st,
Congrats.
Friday. I know. It's like giving birth. And then yours comes out.
It is.
Yeah.
And then yours comes out on August 31st.
Yes.
And you are releasing it at your festival.
I sure am, yeah.
So Andrea Magee has her own music festival, and this is the second one. And it's called She Rises. And it is purely women on the roster.
Yeah,
men
right.
can come.
Oh, absolutely. Please.
No men, no. And it's so amazing. So we're gonna get into that, into the nuts and bolts of that. But talk a little bit about, because the other thing I love about the two of you is that you are both independent artists. And that's the preference, right? That you have the freedom under that independence to do your thing?
Yeah, I think I became an independent artist maybe 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it seems like everything is trending that way as an artist. It's the music business, for the better or worse, has become easier for an independent artist to make the product, make a record, deliver that record to all the places you need to. And I find a really nice sense of freedom in the whole situation.
Does it also require like a different level of discipline and like the business side? So I think, like we were talking a little bit before, you both are, again, you have albums coming out. So there's a lot of like logistics that comes with that. A lot of like social media stuff that you have to do, which like nobody likes that. I have yet to have anyone sit on this couch and be like, yay, social media. So how do you balance that, knowing that it's like a necessary part? Rob, you first.
I think it takes some gumption and making a plan that probably is going to change a lot, so you have to get used to pivoting. Social media is probably, I'm not known for my social media abilities, but I've figured out a way to like remove myself from the post and like living, like I just kind of throw it out there and forget about it now. I turned off all the notifications and if somebody doesn't like what I'm doing, then okay. But it's just a way to kind of keep some sanity. But it is fun to develop like marketing ideas that are a little, sometimes I get a little unconventional and then see them work and spread a message of some sorts that you're trying to convey.
Do what you want.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to wear a lot of hats. And I love that, like, you've been able to conquer the not taking it personally, because that is just such a
gift.
Book
on that?
Yeah.
I think I just gave up.
Yeah, I think I'm getting closer to that. But yeah, no, I mean, I think like the overarching thing for me is just having the freedom, having the autonomy in the whole creative zone to do what you want to do. But you say independent artist, yes, you're independent, but it does take a village. It takes the community here in Austin, it takes the community further out, and it takes so many people to call yourself independent, just because we're not signed to a label. I feel like my label is my audience. My label is my crowds that come and buy a ticket. Like, that's the true supporter. You know, that is the real record label these days. It's the people that come out and support us firsthand and that you get to know. And
let's dive into some of the nuts and bolts of what you guys actually have going on too, because I want to make sure we talk about it. But you're about to put out your 7th studio album.
Yes, indeed.
And I read somewhere that you have a Charles Bukowski quote on your fridge. Bukowski is known for being pretty straight and direct. And I can paraphrase the quote, but do you know what it is exactly?
No, I'm not good at remembering my own lyrics. It takes a lot of work, so the quote's tough. But essentially, you have to go all the way.
Yeah.
And it talks about sleeping on park benches and, you know, anything from putting yourself into a drunken stupor to giving up girlfriends to all these things. Bukowski's a little hard-edged, but I figured might as well just tape it to the fridge and then...
Yeah.
Yeah, it also is right next to a sticker that says, less honkin', more tonkin', so I'm not taking it that seriously.
balance.
The water
It's all about balance.
pulls it down just a touch.
Just a little bit.
My question to you is, so 7 albums in, I read in your bio that this is the first album where you feel like you really kind of followed the advice of that quote, where like you went all in, kind of, you know, turned off all the notifications, so to speak, and just really went, I'm doing it and I'm giving it my all. And I've heard 2 songs only off of this really I want to hear the whole album so bad. But what kind of got in the way for you prior to that? Do you know, have you ever like really put words to it of like, why now, why?
Well, I think it's like a combination of like, you don't know what you don't know. And so you put a lot of those experiences together. And I've made records in a lot of different places, and coming back here, I made my 3rd record with my band, and I used the same band to make this record, and that was about 10 years ago we made my 3rd record. So that was part of it, and then my friend Darden Smith, we love Darden very much.
I love him.
Darden and I wrote about 30 songs for this record.
Wow.
Which I've never gone that far down the road on that, but it just, we were getting together weekly, and it was really just a fun experience, and to get so close with someone through writing all these songs. And then we took the record, and then we mixed the record, and then I went to these great people here that Darden introduced me to, Pentagram, to help me DJ, and Stu, and they helped me like craft the vision behind the record, and it just, it wasn't cheap, but it was worth it. I had to take a few decisions where I was like, all right, if we got to do this the right way, we're gonna have to figure it out. But at the end of the day, I look at it for now, and I'm very proud of that, and don't feel a lot of qualms, which is nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I've seen you on Instagram unbox the vinyl, and it looks just absolutely beautiful.
I should have brought one.
What would I do? I know. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Thank you.
And the title track, "Burning in the Stars," I just want to make sure I get it right. Yeah, "Burning in the Stars" is the title track, and that single already came out, and then you just put "Hold Tight" out.
I did.
And they're different kind of edges of you, I feel like.
I definitely agree.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that.
"Burning Stars" is where Darden and I kind of started the record, and it's a song that I'd had forever, and I knew once, I think I was driving down Exposition right around the corner from here, and I knew once we wrote that song, I called him, and I remember exactly where I was, and I was like, do you want to write the whole record with me? And he was like, yeah, man, count me in. And I was like most big decisions I make, people are like, yeah, let's do it, and it was great. And "Hold Tight" is kind of a song I've been trying to write for a long time, and I think that's probably the best version. We have a really fun music video coming out next week that I'm excited about.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, motorcycles in the desert, all this stuff. Yeah.
For "Hold Tight"? That's a good, hold tight.
Yeah,
you do kind of have to do that.
Yeah.
You might want to.
Yeah.
You might want to.
We took that quite literally, but yeah, it's gonna be fun. So I'm excited about it, and now we're at T-minus 3 weeks, I guess.
Till
This whole thing. And then you're just a different person.
I know.
The record comes out, you let it go.
Done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then you're doing a show on that same night, Friday, June 21st. You're doing a 310, an ACL 310 show to release it, right? And just
It's gonna be really fun. I haven't played 310 in forever.
It's a great venue.
Yeah, it's a great venue. Love the video wall.
Yeah.
I think we're doing a Waterloo Records release the day before, so
Perfect.
yeah, doing the whole thing.
That's kind of like
Yeah,
that's the
that's
thing
the
to
Austin
do.
triad.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
So
That's
good.
special,
Yeah.
you know? I love that. All right, and you, my friend, so new album coming out August 31st, and you're gonna release it. What's that gonna look like? So, She Rises Festival, this is festival number 2, Labor Day weekend in Taos, New Mexico.
Yeah.
Full female lineup. It's very like spiritual and like the beginning of it. Are you gonna do the
Indigenous choir.
Indigenous
Absolutely.
choir
Yeah.
again to kind of bless the whole experience?
Yeah.
I really need to find a way to go.
You definitely
I know.
do. Yeah.
I didn't get to
Everyone
go to the
does.
first one.
It is. It's a life-changing experience if you're open to it. You know.
What inspired you to start a music festival? Because that's not like, hey, I want to write a new song, or hey, I want to put out an album. Hey, I want to start a music festival.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's kind of, it's a crazy one.
Yeah.
If I like reflect on, I just had a birthday last week, and I'm reflecting on this last year, and I never, I've been playing music my entire life. I've been chasing the dream, putting out albums, doing the thing. And I never would have expected that in this past year I would have started a nonprofit and started a music festival, but I kept getting these messages of like, hey, let go, just let go, and because I think I was clinging really tight to the music and the creativity and, oh, where does it need to go next? What do I need to do? And I couldn't figure out how myself to let go of that and just let it be.
Yeah.
And I feel like the universe was like, hey, lady, we're gonna make you let go. We're gonna bring in a music festival to your life and a nonprofit. So that has kind of unfolded in a way that I just never have expected. But I love a challenge, and I am really competitive. I come from a sporting background in Ireland, and I attended Brandi Carlisle's Girls Just Wanna. I watched the magic that she had created. I felt the energy that she had created. And it was just unbelievable, the love in the air for this support for an all-female lineup, but everybody was welcome. There was band members. It wasn't like
exclusive.
It wasn't exclusive in any way. It was really just togetherness, and I was so inspired. And I was with my friend Paige from the Reverend Few, and she could see me. I was looking up at the stage, and I was like,
Oh.
And she was like, yeah, she tapped me, and she was like, what? And I was like, I'm gonna do this. She was like, okay, and that was it.
It's got the chills.
But I said it. I was like, wow, it'd be really cool to do it. Never in a million years did I think I'm gonna do this within a year. I came home 2 weeks to 3 weeks later, I get a call from a promoter. I've been playing in Taos with Beetroot Revival for 6 years at the Big Barn Dance.
At the Big Barn, yeah.
Yeah. And I get a call, and he was like, hey, you really like, supporting women, and I was like, uh-huh. He's like, you want Labor Day weekend? You wanna do something? And I was like, uh-huh. And he literally just called, and he was like, okay, I'll call you back. I'm not kidding you, I'm such a little nerd. Within 24 hours, I had the budget, I had the proposal, I had everything put together in this document, and I sent it off, and he called me, and he was like, what the fuck? Like, for real? And he was like, I think you might be ready. And I was like, yeah. So he partnered me up with, sorry, bleep that out, by the way.
I love a good F word.
You asked for one, no more for my dad, okay? No more. But yeah, he then partnered me up with Sarah Hearn, who is High Desert Entertainment. We put our heads together, and we made it happen. It was an uphill struggle. Getting anything off the ground takes a lot of work. And we had the vision, and we just made it happen. And when you coming back full circle to what does that look like to release an album, it's a necessity because I don't have any other time. I think honestly, I'm just like, how could I have this music, I'm sitting on it, I have let it go, but I haven't actually let it go to the world.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, why not? Why not just put it out? And it was my friend Kelly Green from PAC. She was like, why don't you do it at your festival? And we both got chills, and I was like, done. Let's do it. So we're gonna do it.
I love that. I love that so much. And talk about the nonprofit, because I so badly want to volunteer. Yeah. I see the videos that you put out, and every time I see it, I'm just like, Kat, just email her. I don't even know what I could do, but I just so badly want to be a part. So talk a little bit about your beautiful, beautiful nonprofit.
Thank you. Yeah, so I started just before the music festival. I started a nonprofit with my dear friend, Dr. Catherine Cottrella. like I said, I was clinging really tight to my career as a musician and like, what does that look like? And I had driven the bus for Beetroot and, you know, mentally of like, how can we get it to the next level? It's just this constant, like, what's next? Where can we go?
Yeah.
But I had really lost touch with like why I picked up my drum and my flutes and my whistles as a little girl. I never started in music to make a career out of it. I started it because I absolutely love it. And I truly believe that it is something very powerful. And I have taken solace in it my entire life until I really started to get swept away by the career, and I forgot how really important the actual music is. So I needed to get back in touch with that, and Catherine and I went and visited Helping Hand Home for Children. Again, this was not planned. None of this was planned. We spent an afternoon, I got a tour, and I was like, why am I here? But I was very honored to be there touring. And at the very end, it was like a little light bulb went off, and I was like, can I do a music program for you? Because they didn't have any music for the kids. And if you don't know, Helping Hand Home is a home for children with severe trauma, who have suffered severe trauma and abuse. And they're doing remarkable work with the children, but I realized they didn't have music. So again, because I'm a nut job, I threw myself at it 200%, and with the help of some incredible women, we got our nonprofit formed, and we're now up to delivering a workshop for the children once a week, and it is the real part of life for me. Like when you go into those rooms and you see what music can do, can let these children become children again, who have been, sadly, that has been removed from them, and then they open up and they come alive again through music, and that 1 hour that we spend there. It's something I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, and I know it, and I'm so thankful to Catherine and to the community here for helping me get into that part of myself.
Yeah, and it's called Music Helps.
Yeah.
And it really, truly does. It like makes me want to cry. Yeah. I love it so much. Yeah, so important. So let's recap before we're going to take some audience questions. So audience, I hope you've been thinking of some amazing questions, but just to recap, Burning in the Stars comes out June 21st. Congratulations on that.
You.
I think it's a big deal, to put something together. I say it often, but like, I have so much respect for the two of you and people that do what you do, that put all their heart and soul, literally, into your songs and your lyrics, and to stand up here and sing for us is just like, that will always be a big deal for me. So I really, really appreciate you sharing that with us, and I'm so happy to have you both on the show.
Thank you.
So if you're in Austin, go to ACL 310, right, on June 21st. To see Rob Baird. And are you gonna play the whole album? Like, do it like front to back?
Yeah, we're gonna play the whole album. I don't
do front to back?
I feel like I get bored if I go to a front to back show. Not just.
Are you gonna ride your motorcycle in?
Yeah, I'm gonna ride the motorcycle in.
You gonna sit on stage.
Very Aaron Brockovich.
Yes.
It's kind of hot.
Yeah. But we'll play the record and some of the other tunes from along the way. But I'm very excited about that show. It's gonna be fun.
Awesome. Do you have an opener?
I do. My dear friend Troy Cartwright.
Nice.
Who he's a Nashville guy. He has a wonderful podcast called 10 Year Town that he interviews these artists. But he's a great friend of mine, so it'll be fun.
That's awesome when you get to do it with a friend too.
Cool.
Congrats. It's so much work. It really is. So congratulations to be able to let it go.
Yeah, I don't have a music festival. Wow.
Yeah.
We look forward to hearing about your music festival next time you come on the show.
Don't do it. Save yourself.
Don't do it. And Andrea, do you have a title for your album that's coming out?
Not yet. I have, this is gonna make me sound so mental. I have 2 albums. What the fuck?
What?
I know, because, basically I have a live at Seaboys, which I had kind of just had in the back pocket, and I finally got it mixed and mastered, and it came out beautiful. I had just forgotten about it, so I now have a full live at Seaboys album, and then I have a full album that I've done at Arlen Studios, and we're still doing the finishing touches in the next couple of months for that. So there's a couple of front runners for titles, but it hasn't just like
Hasn't shown
dropped
up yet.
No, not yet. I'm waiting on it just falling down, you know?
But speaking of falling down, you're going to trickle down a couple singles in July and August
Yes.
before that. So we'll get to
You will.
have a little taste.
The first single will be Chase the River.
I got a little preview of that, and it's so beautiful, as all your stuff is.
Thank you.
I love it.
All right.
Well, thank you again so much, both of you, for coming on. We have some audience questions. Are you ready to take some?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready for anything?
I'm
All right, here we go, audience questions.
Andrea, you've told us about your early family influences, your dad playing the ballroom since you were 7 years old. You've talked about the influence of your homeland. You've talked about the influence of Brandi Carlile. But I'm really curious as to what other singers, songwriters, performers have really stood out in your mind as influencing what you do.
Ooh, that's a great question. So I grew up just listening to a very eclectic record collection of my dad's, like from the likes of Tina Turner, Diana Ross, Gloria Estefan, and like traditional Irish music, and then Van Morrison, then some Joe Cocker, like literally just this like just a very versatile like rainbow of music. I was, you know, I got to listen to as a young girl, and I think that has just trickled its way in. You know, I don't try, like when I write a song, I don't try and write a song like someone, because it has to come from a very honest place. But I'm sure all of these artists have hugely just like, they're in your blood, right? When you listen from a young age and you get that excitement, they just then come out of you. You know, and then there's more artists like later down the line, like Foy Vance and people like that I'm just obsessed with. But yeah,
Thanks.
lots.
Thanks.
Good question.
Yes, hi. This question is also for Andrea. First of all, I applaud you on beginning and creating this nonprofit. It's very admirable, and I wish you tons of success. My question really was a curiosity more than anything with regards to the festival. I noticed there's quite a sprinkling of a few Austin artists like Susanna Schofel and Gina Chavez, and I was wondering what your process of discovery and or cultivation for the festival lineup was. Was it through recommendations, or do you know them through personal and professional relationships? And the other artists, are they from a certain region, or do they represent a certain genre?
Great question. So it's varied from year to year. So last year we were under a bit of a time pressure to get it all together, but we still pulled in Sean Colvin and Alison Russell, and Katie Tunstall again. And the original idea for the festival was an international women's music festival. So it was to try and capture women from all over different parts of the world. Budget made it that we couldn't actually do the dream that I had, because it would mean like flights and things like that. But that is the overarching goal. And yeah, both personal, yes, there are people that I personally know in Austin and I'm also just fans of, and I want to shine a light on them because I believe in them with all my heart. I feel them, you know, like, and I mean, that list is endless, and it is a really hard choosing process. We bring it to the board and we all like discuss it. So it's trying to like, you know, get a really nice range of different styles. And this year we definitely brought into the equation a bit more of a demographic. So we pulled in a band from Colorado to see if we could pull some ticket purchasers from the Colorado area. We brought our headliner Yola is from England, based in Nashville. So, you know, and Katie Tunstall's Scottish, so we got her again. But I also, it's really important for me to bring in some Native artists. So as we mentioned before, we do have an Indigenous all-women's choir from the Pueblo in Taos, so that we are honoring the heritage of the land that we are putting the music festival on. So yeah, it's a wide range of different things that make us make those decisions, and it's not easy. I promise you that, you know. Yeah. As long as I feel they're authentic, that's my only thing, is an authentic artist that is, you know, has a good message and kind of just fits our eclectic bill.
Right. Great question.
Much success.
Does anyone have a question for Rob? He loves being in the spotlight.
Rob, you wrote this record with Darden Smith. Could you talk a little bit about the collaboration with Darden on this album? Because he's an old Austin royalty singer, songwriter, and has been writing songs for the last 30 years and some wonderful albums. And it's great to see him back in the mainstream with an album with you. So talk a little bit more about collaborating with him and how that process went.
Awesome. I met Darden at a dinner party, if you will. It was probably like 5 guys just hanging out. But we were just cooking, and I had heard the legend of Darden Smith, but I hadn't really spent a lot of time with him. And I think we had, over a couple months, had hung out 2 or 3 times, and then kind of decided to write. And he came over, and we wrote this song about something that was going on in my life that was kind of all-encompassing, and he just drew it out of me, as he has done like a lot of work with songwriting with soldiers, and he just kind of knew exactly what buttons to push, and it was awesome. And then he ended up putting it in his project, Western Skies, and his book, and it was quite an honor. And I was finishing up a project that I'd done before, and as time progressed, I just kept hanging out with Darden, and we weren't necessarily writing, but having coffee and getting together, and it just slowly, the world just kind of brought us together, and it was really fun. And he got the studio on the East Side about that time, and it kind of became our little home, and it was very nice to. The easiest way to write a song is not to have to pack up your guitar. Like, I go to his studio, he's got a guitar with my name on it, picked it up, and we would write for about an hour or 2 every week, and it just kind of slowly, the vision came together, and I just feel immensely thankful to have him come into my life at that time, as I was kind of transitioning out of COVID and really working out of Nashville a lot, and it just made the project super personal. And I've got a great friend and a mentor out of the whole deal, so it's awesome.
I can't wait to hear it.
I know.
I'm so excited to hear
I have
it.
a link. We could have sent it to you.
know.
It's not like
Send it to
it's
me
not in a
now.
vault. Yeah.
Stop hiding it.
Yeah, stop hogging it. One more question for Rob. Anyone?
This question's for Rob. Rob, you have talked, I've watched you talk many times about your songwriting craft and process, but there's something new. You have a new video, for starters, that is excellent. Talk a little bit about the creative process for your video productions. It's such an important complement now, multimedia, with the music. Expand on that a little more.
Awesome. Yeah, video's definitely become the thing. I don't know if I saw that coming. I think TikTok, everybody, everybody's now a video producer in some way to sell themselves, and I got really lucky. I've met this crew of athletes and action sports adventure people, and through that, my friend Corey Wilson was a surf photographer at Surf Magazine way back when, and then has done stuff for Aston Martin. He just did Travis Kelce. I've heard of this guy. I don't know why he's such a big deal. I don't know what his deal is. Reese, like 2 weeks ago, and I was really lucky that Corey and I became so close, and he's really a special guy, and his talent's incredible. And he was like, let's just do a video. Yeah. And then, his girlfriend is a model, and then he got all her friends there, and then all of a sudden I'm in the desert with
Models?
five
Yes,
models
yes.
riding motorcycles, and I'm
Like,
like,
terrible.
yeah, it was really
You have to hold on tight.
it was an immense day, and our friend Luke Rockhold, who's like an MMA
So
fighter.
hard, isn't it? This creative.
Yeah,
heartbreak.
it was really hard, and I didn't know what to do. I felt exasperated by the whole thing. Yeah, it just turned into this magical day. Like, it was raining, and our friend Luke's.
Again, I need to see this
Yeah,
now. I'm like, stop hiding it.
Yeah, it's all coming. So, I don't know. That's the thing about this record is that after all, I guess I added it up the other day. I think I've been doing this for 17 years. And it's gotten to the point where, like, you find your people, and I feel so lucky to have all these great people behind me and around me, and Corey basically did this for the cost of a Doom buggy, to rent the Doom buggy, and so and the amount of love he's put into it. He's made 3 versions of it, and just like, hey man, I got to perfect this one shot, and so
We need you to reshoot with a model.
Yeah, it's gonna be really tough.
Can we get those
Yeah.
5 models in
Yeah,
on
give me
the
5
motorcycles
back here.
again, please?
What a world. So it's definitely something different, and I feel like it's fun to show more of your personality through video.
Would you ever do it again?
It was just so hard that I don't know if I could. I mean, yes, of course. I'd go to the moon. I'm like, we're going to the moon? Yeah, it sounds great. Yeah.
Great question. Those were awesome questions. Thank you, everyone that asked a question, and really good answers. I'm kind of ready for some music. Are you ready to play?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah? All right, let's do it. Very nice.
Reach out and touch faith. Reach out and touch faith. Your own personal Jesus. Someone to hear your prayers. Someone who cares. Your own personal Jesus. Someone to hear your prayers. Someone who cares. Reach out and touch faith.
Monica Valley, everybody!
Thank you.
Hold tight and keep running all night. I need something. I got a heart that is burning so bright. I got a love that'll treat you just right, and I need you, need you. Now hold tight. I hear the wind and it's screaming. It's better when I'm leaving. Like a diamond on the edge of a razor blade, and I'm hanging on every word that you say, and I need you to hold tight. A hurricane heart and a lipstick flame. Turn back now, gonna carry that thing, shaking that ground and howling your name. Hold tight. Hold tight. I got a heart that is burning so bright. I got a love that'll treat you just right, and I need you to hold tight. To hold tight. To hold tight. To hold tight.
That does it for tonight's show. I want to say thank you to Rob Baird and Andrea Magee. Do not miss this episode. And also, I just want to say happy season finale. This is our last show of season 1, so there you go. Yeah.